Hey, what's up YouTube? How you doing? Chris Rod, Sun City Lawn Care. Man, it has been a while since my last video, and for you guys that are on my channel, I do apologize about that. However, man's been busy, staying busy, as I know that you guys have been busy as well, doing your thing in your own lawn. So it's been a month, 3 weeks since my last video, a month since one of my last applications, one of the applications in which I'm talking about today on lawn care. Been so busy, all I've been doing is cutting the grass. All right, that's pretty much what I've been doing besides taking care of my clients. But cutting my own lawn is a point and topic of today's video, is the PGR application, the plant growth regulator, TNEX, that I applied exactly almost exactly 1 month. It was August 10th. Today's the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. August 10th is when I put that product down, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I put a 0.25 ounces per 1,000 square feet down on the lawn, and it's allowed me to back off on my mowing to 1 day a week. Okay, because before then, summer applications or summer lawn care for Bermuda grass, sometimes we end up having to cut our lawns, depending on how short you want to keep it, 2, sometimes 3 times a week. In my case, I was cutting it 3 times a week, guys. I would do a Monday mow, I would do a work day, weekday, middle of the week, like a Wednesday mow, Thursday mow, and then I'd come back on a Saturday or Sunday morning and do another mow. That was kind of my process. That was my routine at the beginning of the season, okay? But when we put that PGR down, it really helped out as far as the top growth. I'm not really concerned with the filling in the Bermuda grass because I've got a very well-established Bermuda lawn, okay? This is hybrid Bermuda, by the way. So today's video, what we're talking about is when to overseed your lawn, okay? And that can go many different directions depending on where you live in the United States, or in the country for that, or in the world for that matter, and your grass type. So in my case, what we're talking about today is Bermuda lawns, okay, here in the South. You're not going to overseed a St. Augustine lawn. You're not going to overseed, I mean, you can, but it's not a normality, okay? Typically, when we talk about overseeding, we're talking about overseeding Bermuda lawns so that we have a green lawn throughout the winter, okay? Here in El Paso, Texas, we're in West Texas. Predominantly hybrid Bermuda lawns are established and whatnot. So in the fall, we do have a select few clients, including myself. We have started to overseed, or we've been overseeding the lawns with a perennial or annual ryegrass. Now, normally, you're going to want to choose either one, okay, depending on whether you continue to keep doing it. A lot of people, lawn care guys out there, are going to tell you, go with an annual ryegrass. The reason why they're going to tell you that is because it's got an annual life cycle. That annual life cycle is going to go ahead and live throughout the winter, and it's going to die come appropriate soil and ambient air temperatures come springtime. It dies back, and your Bermuda grass bounces back, all said and done, okay? Now, there are ups and downs, there's plus and minuses between the two, the annual and the perennial ryegrass, okay? You got to do your own homework and your own research on your personal preference. The two have different colorations, the two have different lifespans, and the two can make your Bermuda lawn either a challenge or an easy process when it comes green up next spring, okay? So you got to make a choice. I'm going to let you guys do your own homework on that. What I like to use is perennial ryegrass. The reason why I like perennial ryegrass is because I'm going to get a darker green color, 1, 2, and it's going to keep coming back, assuming I don't get to killing it all off or mowing it all out. Sorry if there's any wind, guys, but you know, I'm in El Paso. We're not the windy city, we're the sun city, but we get a lot of wind down here, so bear with me. So anyways, I like to use perennial ryegrass because a lot of our lawns, whether it be well, not necessarily whether it be, but if we're going to continue that annual process of overseeding. So in my case, this is going to be my second year of actually overseeding this particular backyard, my backyard. I did it last year and I didn't get the greatest of results. And I'll show you guys a couple pictures here. It was kind of sparse. It was, to be honest with you, it was pretty disappointing. The reason why that happened, though, was a couple of reasons. The two primary reasons that I'm going to tell you guys, which more often than not, are common mistakes, is pre-emergent application and not scalping the lawn down low enough, okay? Or not scalping the lawn, period. So, in cohesion with the topic of the video, when to overseed your lawn with a winter grass type, in our case perennial rye, some mistakes can be made, okay? And the one mistake that I made last year that I think was I got my pre-emergent, my summertime pre-emergent, I got it down a little too late, which contributed to a delayed germination on the grass seed of the perennial grass seed that I applied in some areas. The second portion of the mistake that I made was I think just not getting that meat to bone, that white meat, scalping done. Because what we need when we do an overseeding process is that we need seed to soil contact, okay? Now, a lot of times it's said that the best way to go ahead and get an overseeding job done is to scalp it down to the white meat, okay? What I did last year was not that, okay? What I did was I gave it a lower notch setting on my mower, which is about 3/4 of an inch, and I was unlevel last year. I can honestly say that there were some areas in my lawn that weren't exactly level. 3/4 of an inch to an inch of a scalp, okay? I was timid last year about scalping my lawn down as if we were scalping it down in the early part of the year, February, March here in El Paso, West Texas, where you scalp it down to the soil. I was very timid about that. And I did it late in the season, okay? And what I mean by late is everything's based around ambient air temperatures, soil temperatures. So when you guys are making a decision to overseed your lawns, you need to do the research and homework and go ahead and use Greencast online or greencast.com. Greencast, it's a website where you can figure out your soil temperatures in your specific area. All you do is type in the city, the zip code, and it's going to tell you your soil temperatures from the previous year if you plug in the numbers right. What you want to do is you want to date back a little bit and figure out when you have soil temperatures at the appropriate time. And the appropriate time to do a seeding process is when you've got soil temperatures between that 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit temperature range, okay? That's going to ensure that you have good enough temperatures to go ahead and get that seed germination, okay? So get on the website, figure out, date back to 2020, because we're in 2021, date back to 2020 on when we had good soil temperatures between 70 to 80 degrees. Now here in El Paso, that typically falls between the 3rd and 4th week of September. So what we're planning to do this year is the 3rd week, and from past experience, and when I say past experience, as I've been explaining to you, my experience last year wasn't that great in my lawn. However, I worked on a client's lawn where we did the scalping the 3rd week of September. Now, the gentleman that I did the work for, he owns a farm here in El Paso, and he wanted me to scalp it down a certain time of the year. We scalped it down. He came back in with his own crew and used a real mower. I think he used a McLean. They scalped it down even more. They got this lawn, and I might be able to put a picture up here. They got this lawn down to the white meat. It was no longer green. It was a brown Bermuda lawn, okay? And they scalped it down so that they could get sufficient seed to soil contact. They didn't want any thick canopy disrupting that seed to soil contact. And that's what we have to think about too, because when you're growing a thick, lush Bermuda lawn, you're gonna have a lot of canopy, a top growth, or even if you're maintaining at that 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch mark, that canopy's so thick and so dense that grass seed's gonna have trouble getting through. So this gentleman, we went in there, we scalped it once for him, and he followed up with his guys that work at the farm with a real mower. They scalped it down even lower. This stuff, the Bermuda was gone. It was crazy. But I tell you what, the results were phenomenal. 1 week later, he had germination. 2 weeks later, we were actually back at the property and we were mowing annual ryegrass for this gentleman. And it wasn't an inch of annual ryegrass. It was fully established 3.5 inches of ryegrass that we were mowing. As a matter of fact, it was so tall that I didn't want to leave any of the grass clippings left on the lawn, that we had to actually bag. And I mean, the gentleman's property was like 4,000 square feet, but we had to bag this because I just didn't want to leave all that debris on the lawn. But it was established in 2 weeks. This annual ryegrass was established. So here's my point. You got to figure out the area that you live in and the appropriate soil temperatures, because that was probably the third mistake that I made last year. And oddly enough, I thought that he did it too early, me knowing what I know, and the prolonged summers that we have here in El Paso. And I don't know if you guys notice where you live, but it seems like the heat stays on a little bit longer than usual. I thought he did it too early, but he did it at the right time. And then we scalped it at the right time. He scalped it again, and he did a seeding process just at the appropriate time. So what I'm going to do this year, and this was a mistake, probably the third mistake I made last year, was I waited too long. So we're going to jump the gun here, and we're going to get it done sooner this year. With that being said, my plan is for the third week in September, here coming up, we're first week. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to be scalping this down. I'm getting rid of the green. I'm going to drop my mower as low as I can. And if I'm lucky enough, I'll find a real mower. I'm going to hire somebody with a real mower to come in and scalp it down even more. I want seed to soil contact. Now the question comes, do you have to do that? The answer is no. You don't have to do that, okay? You can leave your Bermuda as tall as you want, your tall fescue, if you decide to overseed St. Augustine, I don't recommend you do that, but your centipede, your zoysia, your Kentucky bluegrass, you can leave it as long as you want. For you guys up north, a lot of your overseeding processes have begun. Labor Day weekend just occurred. This is that time period where you guys up north, you're experiencing those cooler temperatures, and you're starting to do your aeration and your overseeding processes. Here within the next week or two, you should be getting them done. Here down in the south, we've got a longer summer, so we can wait a little bit, but depending on what kind of program, you don't want to wait too long. That was the third mistake I made last year. So going into the fall, I'm not going to wait that long this year. I'm going to be scalping soon, and we're going to get that seed to soil contact. I'm going to be dropping it. I dropped the mower setting, which is going to be another video because I want to address some of these issues that I experienced this past weekend. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but y'all see this? Ooh, I got a hole in my yard. And then this back here, look at this. Somebody look at this. Oh! What is that? See that pattern though? Weird shaped, right? I'm going to be addressing that in the next video here soon. I'm not going to talk about it today, but point of the video, when to overseed your lawn, okay? Bermuda lawns, winter rye, annual or perennial, which one are you going to choose? So getting back to the point of topic, I'm going to be scalping within the next few weeks. We're going to be putting down a perennial ryegrass. We're going to be topping that off with a fertilizer high in phosphorus, and I'm going to be covering it with some peat moss. I got the roller. We're going to be laying a 1/4 inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch of peat moss on top of that, get that seed to soil contact. Outside of that, what I do want to discuss to include in this video is when to overseed. Okay, you guys that have been following my channel know that I put down throughout my season, early February, prodiamine. I got a pre-emergent application that goes down in February to help protect against crabgrass. And then we follow up with dithiopyr or dithiopyr, which however you want to pronounce it, in May. Early May is when I put that application down. And then, as you guys have been following, which I started off with this video, 4 weeks ago, it's been 30 days, guys, since I put that T-Nex plant growth regulator down. So we've got product in the lawn that inhibits seed germination. But here I am wanting to overseed in the fall. So when do we do that? When we do pre-emergent applications and when we do plant growth regulator applications, okay? Here's what you need to do. You need to read the label. If you guys are doing any of these applications with these particular products, you have got to read the label. So with that being said, prodiamine, for example. Let me see if I can back up here and get some footage. There we go. Prodiamine. Your application needs to occur after the overseeding process, okay? You need to wait a set amount of time. Oh God, what is a set amount of time on prodiamine? All right, guys, with prodiamine, you need to wait 60 days. 60 days after your overseeding process or the second mow. So when I talk to clients about our overseeding process, or if we're doing a renovation and we're doing overseeding anyways, one of two things happens, either 30 days or 3 inches. That's when we recommend to clients that it is safe to mow your newly established seed, okay? 30 days or 3 inches. Now the recommended label rate on prodiamine is to wait 60 days before an application after an overseeding process. So a lot of you guys are going to be cutting it short. If you're up north, a lot of this should have already been done as far as a pre-emergent application, or you're just starting your overseeding process. The thing to take into consideration is your snowfall. And this is the planning process when it comes to pre-emergent applications when you're doing an overseeding process, is you got to think about your snowfall. So when do you get a majority of your snowfall? Well, here in West Texas, that doesn't happen until December, sometimes not even until February. So we don't get a lot of snowfall, but even if we do, what we're taking into consideration is the washout, the wash away of the pre-emergent product that we put inside of the lawns. How much snowfall do you get? When does it melt? And how much of do you think that's going to wash away? Okay, so 60 days or until your second mow is when it is safe to apply the pre-emergent application after your overseeding. So here in El Paso, if I'm going to be doing my overseeding come the 3rd or 4th week in September, I've got to wait all of October and all of November before I can start protecting my lawn from future weed development here in the South, here in West Texas, with my prodiamine application, okay? So what we're going to talk about next is dithiopyr or dithiopyr. We do a rotation between the two, prodiamine and dithiopyr. We do a February 1st, 2nd week of prodiamine, and then we follow up with dithiopyr in May, the first early weeks of May. That way we've got that summer protection from summer annual weeds that are popping up. Okay, so with dithiopyr, you got a couple options. You can safely overseed your lawn after a dithiopyr application as early as 6 weeks, okay? If you can have some tolerable areas where that cool season grass, perennial rye or annual ryegrass is okay to not fill in, okay? Tolerable areas. So for my case, it'd be that along that back wall. Like I could care less if the perennial comes through over there, but the majority of the lawn, that's the second step, okay? Or the second option, I guess, if you will, which is you got to wait 8 weeks, okay? So if I did that application in May, I've got to wait 8 weeks or 2 months, okay? So all of May, or if I did it on the back end of May, all of June and all of July, and I can overseed in August. August is too hot, so I'm not going to do that here in the South, here in West Texas, okay? The third option is if you want zero inhibited germination from your overseeding process after you did a dithiopyr application in May, you need to wait 10 weeks or 4 months. Woo! 10 weeks or 4 months. So if I did an early application of dithiopyr in early May, I've got to wait all of May, June, July, and August. And guess what? That's 4 months. So come September, I am safe, label rate, label's the law. I am safe to do my annual or perennial ryegrass overseeding without any interruption or interference with the seed germination, okay? Recommended label rates, guys. If you guys are doing any kind of these pre-emergent applications, you have got to like tune into this stuff, all right? So here we are, we're in September, 3rd, 4th week of September. I'm pushing that 4th or 5th week, that 4th or 5th month, you know, time frame for my last pre-emergent application. So I should not have any interruption or interference with seed germination from a pre-emergent. Okay, so now that's going to talk about my next topic, because you guys that have been following the channel know, you guys know that I did a T-Nex application literally 30 days ago, okay, almost a month ago. I did the lower rate. I did a 0.25 ounces per 1,000 square feet of T-Nex, okay, to reduce my mowing applications, to reduce the grass height. Okay, the goal wasn't to thicken up the lawn because it's already thick as crap. So I was just really trying to reduce my work back here. In those efforts, I succeeded. On the downside, though, is I've got family, and we have family functions, and sometimes we spray things like, we had a slip and slide out here the other day, and we put some baby oil on it to like make it really slick. That oil can make some streaks in the lawn. Okay, and then over here, that right there. I did a test earlier today to see if it was pest, army worms, sod web worms, or grub worms. Okay, I know it's not grub worms, but army worms wreaking havoc across the country right now. And a simple test you guys can do: fill up a bucket, push some Dawn dish soap over there, meet the green and the brown area, and if you got some worms crawling up through, you know you got an issue, okay? I did that test. I did a pull test. Nothing's eating away at the root system, okay? So inevitably, my point is this: either one of the kids were spraying some a bug spray, or some sunblock got on the lawn. When you do T-Nex applications or some sort of plant growth regulator, what we live with is any kind of applications or any kind of oil that we use inside the lawn area. If that gets on the turf, it can make a difference on the green of the turf, okay? It's got an impact, and it can have a lasting impact too, because why? You're not promoting that top growth, okay? So that area, that could stay brown until I scalp it here within a short amount of time, which I'm going to talk about next. So with that being said, the T-Nex product, okay? So we talked about pre-emergent applications, when you can overseed. The next thing is, if you guys are doing plant growth regulator applications, when can you overseed if you're doing PGR applications? The next week, the next day, okay? The point of a PGR is to inhibit the top growth of an existing turf. In my case, it's a hybrid Bermuda. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to control the top growth of this turf so that I don't have excessive clippings, and so that I don't have excessive top growth, so that when I do overseed, the seed falls through the canopy down to the soil. So we're going to be controlling that top growth, okay? And you can do this across all grass types if you choose to overseed that particular grass type, okay? So in my case, we're on our 30 days, and your applications of PGR should occur within 4 weeks, okay? Every 4 weeks. I did a lower rate last time. Here soon, within the next 24 hours, because I mowed it today, I'm going to go ahead and put down another application of PGR, so that when I come to scalp it down, I don't have excessive growth. We do not want that excessive growth either being clipped, bagged or not bagged on top of the soil surface. It's going to increase the thatch layer. You increase the thatch layer, harder for the seed to get down to the soil, right? So you want to do that. You don't want to do that. But the PGR, you want to get down, and label rate states that you can apply your PGR between 1 and 5 days of overseeding, scalping, aerating, spiking, dethatching, anything you want to do to the lawn. 1 to 5 days, you can apply some PGR before your overseeding process. In my particular case, I'm going to be, I dropped them over today. I'm going to give it another cut here soon, probably this weekend. I'm going to put the PGR down within the next 24 hours to eliminate that top growth. We're going to be bagging clippings, so that when it comes time to put down my seed here within the 3rd week of September, we've got good seed to soil contact. So you guys stay tuned. Hope you found this video of value. But I just wanted to answer the question of when to overseed. If you guys are doing applications of pre-emergents or plant growth regulators, you have got to tune in to the labels, okay? Hope this video helps you guys. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, let me know.